Welcome back. How do we talk to God? Can we tell God our deepest fears and secrets? Can we ask Him for anything? Is there a method of communicating with God? How do the 5 daily prayers that Muslims perform foster a close connection with Him? Now, Brother Shabir Ali, how do we talk to God? I mean, we might have very serious fears, pains, suffering that we want to communicate to somebody, and it seems like God would be the best person to tell those things. Is there a way that we can communicate with God best?
Yes, and I think it's doing what comes naturally, really, because they say that love teaches the way of love, and naturally we have great respect for God, and that respect will come across in the way we communicate with God. We will preserve that respect. At the same time, we love God, and we feel close to God, and naturally we should be able to talk to God as one talks to a friend, while at the same time maintaining the respect that is due to God, He being the majestic King of the universe, King of Kings. But when we come to spontaneous discourse with God, we know that often when people are in situations of great danger and imminent danger, they may call out to God. Even people who do not normally subscribe to a belief in God, they may, in a moment of crisis, call out, "Oh God." The natural inclination of a person is to seek help in the great controller of all affairs. And we ourselves as believers naturally should call out to God even in these moments of crises. But in ordinary situations as well, believers can talk to God mentally without even saying any words. Just the thought that God is there, God is watching over us, and we are His humble creatures. We're going about our daily lives, but we're still conscious of the fact that God is with us and we are walking in the ways of God. But we should also express our humility before God in words and ask God to help us in various situations. But your question is more like how. And I guess it depends on the circumstance. Like, let's say you're going for a job interview, and you've done everything, you've typed your resume, and you've double-checked it and made sure that there are no errors and everything is accurate. Now you've dressed well, you've gone there, you're sitting in the waiting room ready for your interview. What are you going to do in these few moments while you're waiting?
Seems like a good opportunity to talk to God.
Exactly. Rather than sweating and getting all flustered about the interview itself, ask God for His help. And His help will come to you. And that conversation with God doesn't have to be in words, because you don't want to scare everyone in the office now. It can be internal, just your mental concentration and meditation on the fact that God is able to help you, and you really need His help on this occasion, and you're asking God, please help me. And if I get this job will help me to do a lot of good things. That's what I want it for, so that my own life could be shaped up and be in order, and I will be able to use my ordered life as a springboard for doing charitable activities, for example. And so with this kind of good intention and meditation on God, you are actually involved in prayer at the moment.
So it's not like you need special words to speak to God. You can speak to God in whatever language you use, whatever comes naturally to you.
Yes.
Can you
and
say,
of course,
like, God, what am I supposed to do? Kind of, can you ask that of God?
well, you don't want to put it in a way that seems disrespectful, and I don't know if those words could sound disrespectful, but if you want God's guidance, you can say to yourself, I mean, within your own mind, you can say, God, the situation is difficult for me. It looks like I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. You help me out of this one, because there's no power in the universe besides you who can help me in the way that you would help me, and I really need your help at this one occasion. And naturally, when we are in the habit of normally talking to God for even little things, when it comes to these moments of crises, then we will be more in tune with God and ready to say things in a way that is respectful, and in a way that will bring the help of God to our side. And this is where I believe the regular Muslim prayer comes in. you know, Muslims are required, everybody knows this, to pray five times a day. These prayers are special in that they lock you into a period of concentration, of acute concentration and devotion to God. You see, there are many kinds of prayers, right? Like, let's say you're singing a hymn, which Muslims can do as well. Muslims sing qasidas or other devotional songs. But while you're doing those devotional songs, you could be doing something else on the side as well. But the Muslim prayer locks you in, so this is the only thing you can do from the time you say Allahu Akbar to start the prayer, God is the greatest, until you say Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, to end the prayer by turning to the right and then to the left. For these few minutes, whether it is 2 minutes for a morning prayer or 4 minutes for the night prayer, you are in a period of intense devotion. You're not going to talk to anybody. If anybody addresses you, unless it's an emergency, you're not going to respond, because responding will break your prayer. So you are understood to be in direct conversation with God. This is why it is mentioned in Islamic tradition that the salat, or this prayer, is mi'rajul mu'mineen. It is the ascension of the believers, because
the ascension of the soul.
Exactly. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is believed to have ascended into the heavens and talked to God directly, we are in this prayer in a minor way doing the same thing. Our souls are connected with God in a very intense manner.
Now, some would say that the prayer, the 5 daily prayers, are almost formulaic, right? You say certain things, you perform certain actions, and then you're done. So how do you make it such that you are talking to God?
Well, you have the option of adding prayers in your own words, especially towards the end. Most jurists say that once you have recited all of the formal elements up to the tahiyyah, when you say at-tahiyyatu lillahi, the benedictions or the greetings are for God, then after you've said that, then basically your prayer is done. And at that time, you can add a further prayer or dua in your own language, even before you make the salam, before you say Assalamu alaikum, to end the prayer formally. And in that dua, you can ask God in your language, you can pour your heart out, you can ask God for the things that you want and the things that are dear to you. It is mentioned that some of the companions of the Prophet used to ask God for even simple things, right down to the shoelace. So we shouldn't think that things are too minor or trivial to ask God for them. If it's important to you, go ahead and ask God. He's there to listen, and He can listen to all of the prayers of all of the people all at once.
May God answer all of our prayers.
This is our hope.
We'll take a break. When we return, we will answer questions we receive from you, our viewers.